Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the PBA. We're here in week 2 of our Season 7 Gen 3 Overused. And we got some fun matchups to start off the week. It's Friday. We got a double header. We're starting off with UCF versus South Tucson. JT versus Pokey. JT, no slaps in the PBA, has made the playoffs 4 out of his 5 seasons. Started off with a rough Game 3 loss in week 1. Hoping to earn his first badge in week 2. We're going for the Knuckle badge this week. With a really solid team, made a trade over the week break. Swapped the Snorlax for the Blissey. Made a trade with the Bean Boy Blue Platypunks. We'll see if that benefits him or not. Also made a pickup for Hariyama. So excited to see if he makes use of the Hariyama today. On the other side we have Pokey, who of course had his pick of the draft. Really turned out with the best box out of anybody this season coming out of the draft. But he's been struggling so far this season. Start off week 1 with a loss to Gleason, the UUBL team. So hopefully he's going to try to get his second badge, or his first badge, in week 2. So let's jump into it. Let's get into game 1. All I know is the replay link, so I'm excited to see where this goes. Let's check it out. Opening up with Fortress into Skarm. We got both of our spikers out. Benefit of Fortress is Fortress can actually rapid spin out the spikes. Skarm cannot. Skarm can roar out the Fortress. Here comes Blissey. Is it going to be Thunderbolt Blissey or anything like that? T-Wave. That's pretty good to spread around. Coming back to Fortress now. Into T-Tar. Now this could be a special T-Tar variant. Might threaten the Fortress with something like a Fire Blast. Focus Punch. Rapid Spin is going to knock out the Focus Punch. Going to lose its focus. T-Tar clicking Focus Punch there tells me that it is not a special variant, or maybe it's mixed, but no Fire Blast for sure. Fortress really content to take these physical hits and get up triple spikes. Pokey, I don't know if he's brought, I believe he has Starmie. I don't know if he's brought his spinner though. If he doesn't bring it, then not a good spot. Gengar switching into T-Tar. You really don't see that happen too often. Pivoting to the better check Hariyama here. Threatening it out with a fighting type move of some kind. Gengar comes in though. Doesn't mind the cross chop. Now Gengar can threaten a Will-O-Wisp. Of course Hariyama usually runs Guts, so gotta be mindful of that. Pokey says, screw it. Screw your Guts. I'm throwing out Will-O-Wisp. Blissey comes in on the Gengar and Swampert's here. We're starting to see the Spikes chip really play a part here. Swampert not a fan of stepping on 3 little spiky objects, taking 25%. Blissey getting a nice beam on the T-Tar. T-Tar getting chipped as well. Fortress putting in great work for the University of Central Fortress, the mascot. Focus Punch on the Hariyama does some good damage. 55 chunking it. Earthquake can do 32. Knockoff. Was hoping for a switch to something like Gengar there. Didn't see it. Cross chop on the Focus Punch. That is a wild click by Pokey. I believe he was faster. Could have just gotten the kill with Earthquake. That's interesting. Starmie finally there, gonna get rid of the spikes. It's already done its job though. Done quite a bit of chip on the team. Oof, excuse me. Swampert coming back in. Taking a seismic toss from the Blissey. Swampert doesn't mind dancing with Blissey usually, especially if it's something like either Rest Pert, maybe Toxic. Throw out a Toxic on the Blissey. JT just throwing out the neutral hit, maybe trying to fish for a freeze here. Earthquaking Blissey down. Oh, but we got the soft boil. Now we are still in crit range. That is scary for Blissey. Not sure if we have something that wants to safely switch it on the Earthquake. Oh, and calls the Ice... Oh my goodness. Calls the Salamence switch with an Ice Beam, and that was a crazy read. Good stuff from Pokey right there. And that's Blissey versus Blissey. JT in a tough bind here. Staring down a really strong defensive core. Makes the right call switching on a Toxic, but Fortress really not trying to take fire. There's a Fire Blast. Fortress down. T-Tar is in. Really hoping to not receive any sort of status from the Blissey. Ice Beam on the Focus Punch, and it freezes. Oh my word. Apologize, my throat's a little stuffy. JT in a bind. Clutches out the miss on the Hydro Pump. Gonna see if we can capitalize something like a Giga Drain or maybe predict a read to Skarm. What we got? Ice Punch. Looking like a little bit too much to break through at this point. Oh, and then there's Swampert on the T-Bolt. Smart. Now, if it's not showing Giga Drain, Swampert doesn't mind just staying in and pressing Hydro Pump on the Gengar. Back to Skarm. Maybe just going to try to put a Toxic on this Blissey, force it to rotate. Maybe put some spikes down to punish the T-Tar and the Blissey swaps. Skarm getting chipped though, Skarm almost out. No full paras yet, I haven't seen. Seismic Toss is enough, takes it out. 2 spikes on the ground, taking about 16 every time you switch in. That hurts, that's tough. Hello Blissey, Frozen T-Tar is back. Doesn't mind the Toxic, but also is frozen, so that's rough. I love how Focus Punch, you can focus while you're frozen. I love that it does that. Tyranitar is focusing, but it's also frozen. Blissey taking a critical hit, Hydro Pump, still not really that much damage. Gonna probably soft-boiled here, but in a bit of a bind. You really want to see something like a Toxic here. That would be huge, but I believe this is a Thunder Wave Blissey. Yeah, we know the full moveset. No Toxic in sight. Toxic would be huge here. Even so, you're staring at 2 natural Cure Pokemon and a Gengar, so Toxic was really only good for the Swampert. Looking like game 1 is pretty pokey favored. Would need some crazy things to happen to see JT bring back this game 1. Let's see how it ends though. Really just praying to get this T-Tar unfrozen. A tough bind. That freeze sucks. Rotating the Starmie in now. Gengar is gone. But once again, not really sure if anything's be able to break through the Blissey Swampert core. And again, JT has a Blissey of his own, so. But Toxic, I think, is going to be the difference maker here. JT has Toxic. Tyranitar will eventually die. Blissey will eventually be stuck and be Toxic. I think that's the end game here. There's Toxic on the T-Tar, finally unfrozen, but on an inch of its life. Rock Slide not doing bad damage. Threatening to kill the Blissey now. And honestly, that Blissey dies. Oh, the Rock Slide miss, that hurts. That Blissey dies, and JT's in good shape. Because I think his Blissey can just kind of Seismic Toss his way through the rest of this match, but that Blissey at 30%, that's rough. I believe a Seismic Toss isn't going to do it when you have about over 600 HP. I don't think a 100 power Seismic Toss is going to do it. And his Blissey's faster, at least at 1 the speed time. Would need some crazy combination of full paras here to make something happen. There's one. Would need like 3 or 4 Seismic Tosses with full paras. Let's see how much it does. 15%, so yeah. That Toxic should seal this first game. And we should just see the Blisseys throw each other back and forth until one dies of poison. very common interaction the Blissies have in the wild. And yeah, let's turn this up to hyper fast. Let's see how this goes. I believe, yeah. Blissey on a timer here, can't exactly. Yeah, Toxic is huge, and the Blissey Ditto Toxic is huge, and so Pokey takes game 1. Good stuff from Pokey. 1 wood away from earning his first badge of the season, getting that Knuckle badge. Let's check out game 2. Here we are. Jumping into game 2, let's see if JT makes any adjustments to the squad. He's leading T-Tar. Switches to Salamence on the Scarm, expecting a Toxic. It's going to stop any hopes you might have of being a Dragon Dance sweeper. But if it's Special Salamence, that's a different story. If this is Hidden Power Grass Salamence, that's a different story. Goes straight to Blissey, and I believe it is Hidden Power Grass Salamence. Oh my goodness. Good safe play by Pokey, switching out. Salamence is a very scary Pokemon, really has hits for anything, depending on how it's built. I'm a big fan of that special variant. Celebi with the Leech Seed, that's huge, dealing with another Blissey. Being able to heal, what, 20% off the Blissey with Leech Seed? That's satisfying. And we're back where we started, Scarm and T-Tar. Fortress is in, and it's like we're back at game 1 all over again. Focus Punch, and he's going to get it. Let's see how much it does to Scarm. 41, not too bad. Skarmory is so bulky. I love Fortress's Gen 3 sprite. Just looks like a little brain. Salamence in, threatening Fire Blast. Could also be threatening Hidden Power Grass, depending on what's coming in. Blissey probably just going to come in here as Salamence slowly whittles away from the Toxic. And there it is. Celebi happy to click Leech Seed again, although that Fire Blast is a little scarier at 50%. Making the safer call, switch to T-Tar. I like that decision. Rock Slide gonna chunk it, 46%, no flinch. Can Pokey get the freeze again? He cannot. That's probably for the best. Focus Punch on the switch. Scarm gonna take another chunk, about 41%, 49%. Oh boy, Scarm now on the back foot. Does this Scarm have an attacking move? Does not have Drill Peck, it would seem, so it can't stop the Focus Punch. And just like that, Spikes are gone, and Scarm is gone. JT in a much better position this game. And we're just going to layer up some more Spikes. And we know Pokey does have the Starmie, since he did win the last game. Can explode in the Pert? Yeah, why not? That thing's been a thorn in our side. If you're UCF, go ahead and explode on it. Maybe threaten Ice Punch here to finish this off. Or Hidden Power Grass. Man, this is the Swampert Task Force. JT has brought the Swampert Task Force, and it doesn't matter. Blissey's too low with that Spikes damage. Blissey's going to go down. That's huge. Gengar going to threaten something like a Thunderbolt, but Starmie might outspeed and threaten Psychic, so you got to be careful with that. Not a big deal when you have a Blissey to manage the rest. I have a hunch how the rest of this game's going to go. One side has a Blissey, one side doesn't. And yeah, that's a Seismic Toss. Let's see what kind of T-Tar this is. I'm trying to remember what it was last game. Was it physical? Was it special? Physical. Thunder Wave going to cripple the T-Tar for the rest of the game, though. Leaving space for something like JT's T-Tar and Salamence to clean up. Starmie's still scary, though. We've seen from sets like Marana last week. Ooh, a Focus Punch there, and yeah, that's going to do it. Good call by Pokey. I'm loving the Focus Punch clicks. It's such a gamer move. I love Focus Punch. Hidden Power Bug, yeah. Tyranitar is a threat. JT gonna go for his own focus punch, or what are we seeing here? Earthquake. Yeah, that makes sense. Gengar's in, or do we have Pursuit or Crunch on our T-Tar? Ice Punch, critical hit. Oh my goodness. Pokey is getting those crits. Starmie looking like it's in a good position to clean up the rest of this game. What is Starmie at? 84%, 16%. What do you do? Thunderbolt here. Hits everything. Oh, you don't even need to. Hydro Pump. Oh my goodness. Explosion. Surviving that Hydro Pump was clutch. Starmie could have cleaned everything up there. Surely it had Ice Beam for the Salamence. That was huge. Whew, a Nail Biter game too. Nail Biter. And we're going to game 3. Season 7 has not disappointed. Gen 3 produces some close sets, it would seem. Sorry for the coughs. Let's go into game 3. Let's see how this set ends. Fortress in, Salamence is in. Brick Break on the 4E. 4E doesn't mind. One bit. And Fire Blast is a different story, though. Fortress gone. Pokey likes to see that. Hidden Power Grass taking care of the Swampert. We're trading Pokemon fast. Celebi's in, threatening something like a Psychic here. Ice Punch. Leech Seed, interesting. Maybe predicting a swap there. Sometimes Celebes don't run the Psychic. And here comes Skarm. Gonna threaten something like a T-Wave from the Blissey? No, Seismic Toss. Just shy of being able to kill, but is it an Ice Beam Blissey? It is, and Celebi's gone. Fortress down. JT got a Spike off, so I mean, it kind of did its job. It's a Drill Peck Skarm this time. We can't just Focus Punch it anymore. This is not game 1. Ooh, and the Mind Games now doesn't click Focus Punch because we know there's a Drill Peck. So Skarm clicks Toxic. Mind Games. Doing some solid damage to Blissey too, honestly. 24%. It's not a bad range of damage. Now Blissey does just threaten some Seismic Toss action here. Or T-Wave. JT just gonna have to accept that there might be 3 spikes up the rest of this game. Gengar in, happy to click something like a T-Bolt. Jirachi. Pokey made that trade, swapped his Melodic for Jirachi in the open pool over the week break. Let's see if it is a good add to his Squatterdot this week. Let's see what it does. Passing Wishes, able to keep that Skarm healthy. Let's see if it can pass some Body Slams too. There's the Para. Jirachi paralyzed though. That's pretty significant. JT just spreading paralysis on all of Pokey's team. That's gonna... Surely that will lead to some annoying lost turns with some full pairs. I imagine JT's pretty satisfied with that Blissey trade that he made. Blissey's been putting in work for him so far this set. Skarm hurting at 31%. Who's gonna get swapped in? Gengar, happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thunderbolt gonna take out Skarm. We're down to Pokey's final 3. Salamence is here, but Gengar should have Ice Punch, I believe it showed. At least in a previous game. Does it have Ice Punch here? It does. Salamence gone. No Blissey this game. Pokey running a much more offensive build here. Hidden Power Grass. Rock Slide down, but Gengar's happy. Doesn't mind that. Giga Drain here. Gonna chunk the T-Tar. I don't know if it'll kill here, but just slowly chipping away at the T-Tar. HP Bug gonna kill Celebi. And now we're in a position where something like Blissey can just Seismic Toss or Salamence with a Brick Break. Jirachi here. Does Jirachi have something like an Ice Punch? Fire Blast, chunking the Jirachi. Body Slam, can we pair the Salamence? Does not get the 60% roll. Fire Blast hits again. Jirachi is down, looking like Pokey. Sorry. Looking like JT's going to close this out. And Brick Break. That's honestly my go-to Salamence set. Like Brick Break, Fire Blast. Brick Break for the T-Tar and then Fire Blast and something like an 8 Hidden Power or something, like Hidden Power Grass. That was a great set. Game 2 came down to the wire. This was looking like it was going to be a 2-0 Pokey set for a second there. But JT coming in clutch, pulling it back game 2, and finishing strong game 3. That was a good set. Really hard to judge any sort of plays, at least in this moment, by both players. We saw a really good game 3 set here tonight, so good stuff from both players. Congrats to JT, you've earned your Knuckle Badge. And Pokey, we still got 6 weeks left. You said it yourself in the chat. You're learning the format, you're getting better, and I don't think we're done seeing you this season. I think we still got a shot for Pokey in playoffs. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season develops for you.